You cannot rebuild trust on the same foundation that already failed. Here's how to tell real change from a promise that only sounds like one. Hello, I'm Faye from Family Recovery Mum. This is part 2, the trust after relapse, and welcome to lesson 3. This is the hinge of the whole course, and it comes down to one question: what is actually different this time? Because here's the hard truth: you cannot rebuild trust on the same foundation that already failed. If nothing real has changed, the risk is still high, and rebuilding trust now would only set you up to be hurt again. So let's learn to tell the difference between change that's real and change that only sounds like it. Start with what is not different enough. I'll try harder. I won't let it happen again. I've learnt my lesson. I really mean it this time. I know how much you want to believe those, but they're promises, not changes. And promises didn't prevent relapse last time. Same therapist, same meetings, same coping tools that already didn't hold, same stresses that contributed last time. If the system didn't work before, repeating it won't work now. Now here's what genuine difference looks like, and I want you to listen for these. There are clinical changes. A different therapist if the old approach missed the root cause. Trauma therapy that goes after causes and not just symptoms. Medication if brain chemistry needs the support. A more intensive level of treatment than before. Behavioural changes, actually addressing what caused the relapse. New coping mechanisms being practiced. A high-risk relationship or living situation actually ended, not just talked about. Then there are relational changes. Honesty about struggles coming earlier this time. Less defensiveness about being monitored. And this one matters, them actually acknowledging your trauma, not just their own recovery. And accountability changes, having more frequent check-ins than before. More verification, a third party like a sponsor in the picture, a written relapse prevention plan with an early warning system you both understand. When I think about what convinced me rebuilding was even worth attempting, it was a list, a new therapist who actually specialized in the underlying trauma, medication for the anxiety that had been there, untreated, the whole time, a relationship that had been quietly feeding the using, finally ended, and a level of honesty earlier that simply hadn't existed the first time round. Without changes like those on the list, I wouldn't have been willing. The list is what earned my willingness, not the apology. There's one more trap I have to warn you about, because almost every family hits it. The timeline trap. After relapse, you become hyper-aware of timelines. If they relapsed at 14 months last time, then 14 months this time feels unbearable. You can't eat, or in my case, I couldn't stop eating. I couldn't sleep. And you're holding your breath, waiting for history to repeat. I want you to know that fear is normal. It's not paranoia. It's your brain doing pattern recognition, trying to protect you by flagging last time. This is when it fell apart. What helps is to say it out loud rather than carry it alone. We're coming up to the timeline when it happened before. I'm frightened. This isn't about not trusting you today. It's my body remembering. And then look hard for what's actually different at this point compared to last time. Last time at this stage, Were they isolating? Were they out of therapy? Were they hiding stress? And now? If the answer is genuinely different, that difference is your evidence. Lean on it. Make new markers too, not just months sober, but months in trauma therapy, months being honest early, different foundation, different count. The question to keep returning to, not are they sorry, but what is concretely, demonstrably different, and is it enough? The companion workbook has a monthly checklist for exactly this, so you're assessing the evidence instead of guessing. In our final lesson, we'll talk about how to keep your own heart safe while all of this is still uncertain, including the idea that 85% trust might be the new whole, and that protecting yourself and loving them are not opposites. I'll see you in Lesson 4. Use the monthly What's Different checklist in your workbook to track real evidence, not promises. Lesson 4. Protecting yourself while you rebuild is next in this playlist.